What is being said now by the Chief of the Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, who's gone on to say that the use of Air Force would have slowed the Chinese offensive in the war that took place in 1962. So that is what General Anil Chauhan has now said. The use of Air Force would have slowed the Chinese offensive considerably during the 1962 war. And it may have termed this as, basically, in order to know more on this, we have my colleague Shiv. Shiv, take us through the details of what has now been shared by General Anil Chauhan on the war that could have, in fact, things could have been a lot better had the Air Force been involved.
Divya, this is one of the most well-known analysis about the 1962 war, that the controversial decision by the then Nehru government not to deploy the Air Force, which was seen as a tactical error or a mistake in hindsight, is something that that General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of Defence Staff, is commenting on. Now, of course, remember that while this may raise some political heat, it should be said that this particular analysis, this view of the 1962 war, that if the Air Force had been used, things would have been a lot better and their advance would have been slower, etc., has been said several times before by experts in the military and outside the military. It has been a bone of contention in the political battlefield as well. But the government of the day did justify the lack of a use of Air Force as it being non-escalatory. The intention was not to escalate. Of course, that turned out very badly for India because the 1962 war turned out to be a major setback for India militarily in different places. And therefore, with the luxury of hindsight, it was clear that the use of the Air Force should have been done, and it was not a good decision not to do that. And that has remained a kind of a stain on the record of successive Nehru governments. The context in which General Anil Chauhan says it now, of course, is that India has used its Air Force to devastating effect in Operation Sindoor. And even though the Air Force was once seen as escalatory, this time the Air Force was used with restraint. These were targeted attacks, on terror sites in Pakistan, and they targeted military sites in Pakistan only once Pakistan escalated back by targeting India's urban centers and civilian areas. So therefore, the point that the general is making is a nuanced one. It's an important one, that unlike in 1962, where a political decision was made not to use the Air Force, this time the use of the Air Force actually ensured a much shorter war in which India was able to very, very quickly meet its military objectives.